All right, what else are we doing? Turn that music down. Okay, there we go. Yes. Hey, at least I wasn't silent film acting today. So you get the extremes. Just like in Canada, we have extremes of temperature, really loud or really quiet. We went loud today. It's Thursday. We are sliding into the weekend today. Yeah, so sorry about that. I did have the music a little bit loud from the intro. So many things that you got to keep an eye on here. I need someone to, what do they call those in the radio and TV industry, where they have producers that do all kind of that background stuff for you, because so many things going on that you want to cover that sometimes you forget to turn things up or turn things down, or in my case, sometimes even turn things on. Moderators, yeah, moderators. There we go. League to be named never. Yes, absolutely. You're not using the outhouse in Eureka? Well, on the agenda today. You pulled a live perfect Mike Trout. You sold it to buy the card you needed to unlock Vida Blue. Rob, all live cards game, like iron or bronze. It doesn't take you very far with those live cards. So yes, many of the live cards are not very good. So you want to upgrade those as quick as possible. Now, selling them, the Aaron Judge is very good. There's a few of the ones that were in the recent missions from a few weeks ago. You can still make pretty good coin on those. Chris Sale, make a little bit on some of the live gold cards, but playability, unless you're in a all live tournament, you kind of want to avoid them once you get past probably iron. Even some of the silvers, the historical silvers, are better than the live perfects, probably once you get to iron or bronze. Your top Schwarber, yeah, the tops cards, a lot of them are still really good. It's just the live ones, because remember, tops, the top bunt card are still the historical, even though they have current players. So they're in that historical category. So many of them are still going to perform for you pretty good. Some of the pitchers, probably Edwin Diaz, probably a really good stopper still. Alcantara probably can still pitch for you in your rotation up till diamond. Trout, if you had the bunt Trout or the bunt Judge, those can still play. So yeah, there are some good current players, just not in the live category. OOTP news tonight is the Hall of Fame ballot content set, and a little bit of a teaser, maybe a future Hall of Famer too. Well, yeah, because next Tuesday, I believe it's next Tuesday, the results come out for the Hall of Fame ballot. And if you were on stream on Tuesday, we did talk about the current ballot by the Baseball Writers Association of America. They will vote. Their committee will vote on who is selected into this year's class, the 2023 class. And the only person that is in jeopardy is Jeff Kent, because it is his last year on the ballot. There he is, Jeff Kent. So if you're a Jeff Kent fan, this is year number 10 that he's been on the ballot. And those are the rules. You can only be on the ballot for 10 years before you are removed. You can still get in, but you would have to get in a different way, like Fred McGriff did. Fred McGriff was voted in from the contemporary baseball player ballot, which is made up of a 16-member committee, including many baseball former players, Greg Maddux, Jack Morris, Ryan Sandberg, Lee Smith is on there, Frank Thomas, Alan Trammell, and plus some of the executives of the past. So Jeff Kent, if he doesn't make it in from the Writers Association, he can still make it in the future from this contemporary ballot. Fred McGriff, yes, he is one of the former baseball players that will be inducted. He received 100% of the vote. All 16 members voted for him. Don Mattingly got half, and you need, again, 75% to qualify. So congrats again. That is always announced about a month before the baseball writers ballot. We do have a lot of first-timers, first time on the ballot. Jason Worth, Weaver, Street, Rodriguez, Peralta, Napoli, Lackey, Arroyo, Beltran, Kane, Dickey, Ellsbury, Ethier, and Hardy. All first time on the ballot. And the rules are, to stay on the ballot, you need at least 5% to stay on the ballot. So if any of these first timers don't get at least 5% of the vote, they are removed from future baseball writer ballots, which always happens. Because if we go back and take a look at the previous year again, last year only David Ortiz was voted in, and barely, less than 3%. He got voted in. Barry Bonds, Clemens, Curt Schilling, Sammy Sosa, all on their 10th try, didn't get in. And all these people here, AJ, Prince Fielder, Morneau, Ryan Howard, they got less than 5% of the vote. So they are not on the ballot this year, because you need to reach that benchmark of at least 5%. So yeah, very cool looking back at past Hall of Fame ballots and current ones. All right, we have our first ad break coming up. When we return, we will talk more Hall of Fame and speculate on tonight's set. We'll see you after a message from our sponsors. All right, welcome back. More Baseball Hall of Fame ballot talk. And on Tuesday, again, we went through in a little bit more detail the Hall of Fame ballot for this year, and we speculated a little bit on who we thought would make the Hall of Fame and who would be part of tonight's set. And my choices, or my guesses, if we had some sort of guessing contest, would be that Scott Rowland, I think he is the best likely choice of getting in. So I think we might see next week Scott Rowland being elected into the Hall of Fame. Based on last year's results, none of the other players were overly close. I think there were some in the 40% range, 50% range, but I don't think we'll see any others. The dark horse again is going to be A-Rod, but he only received, I think, less than 40% of the vote last year. So he has to make a huge jump to make it in this year. And then all the other ones, especially if they're on the ballot for the first time, there is no Mariano Rivera. There's no player here that's on the ballot for the first time that jumps out at you that, yep, first time ballot selection automatically. That player does not exist this year. So I think we will see, my guess is we see one, that will be Scott Rowland next Tuesday being announced. Now, as far as today's set, usually with a new set, we get anywhere between 8 and 12 cards. You know, Dish has an hour that he usually is on stream, and it gives him time to go through about 8 to 12 cards. So that's what my prediction is that we'll see a few perfect, a few diamond, gold, maybe even a silver. But as I said on Tuesday, if you're on the Hall of Fame ballot, do you really have a silver or an iron card? No, I don't think so. If you have a peak card and you're on the Hall of Fame ballot, you're not going to have an iron card. It's going to be at least gold or higher. Unless it's a limited edition one like they did with Ricky Henderson or Babe Ruth, where it's when they first start playing or their first year in the league, then I can see them maybe putting out an iron card of Scott Rowland or Billy Wagner. But I think we're going to see gold or higher in tonight's set. Todd Helton is at 79% of the votes, and A-Rod currently at 41%. Wow. So maybe we do. Maybe Todd Helton does squeeze in. Is that, Cicero, is that like a public opinion poll? Or is that some of the baseball writers that already announced who they voted for? I'm not sure, again, how the All-Star voting or how the Hall of Fame voting works for baseball. I would imagine that's a public poll that they do, 79%. So maybe we do see Rolen and Helton. It would be cool to see them go in with Fred McGriff. You know, corner infielders, first base, third base, McGriff, Rolen, Helton, be a good combination. Of course, Helton played, I believe, his entire career with the Rockies. So when you play half of your entire career with the Rockies in that stadium, you're going to inflate a lot of your offensive numbers. That's for sure. Not to take anything away from him. Same with Larry Walker. Played a big part of his career in that stadium. So it's the Baseball Hall of Fame tracker. The Google Doc run by a guy that tabulates all public and anonymous votes released to the public. Okay, so yeah, that's a good gauge then of what we might see. Excellent, good. Just a quick shout out to a few recent followers. Thank you so much. Maxwell's Hammer, thank you for the follow. We have Dean VM33. Thank you, Dean. You are follower number 540. And Tom Adelic. Thank you as well for the follow. You are number 541. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and putting up with the old former Canadian teacher with his passion for OOTP and for the game of baseball, especially the Blue Jays and the Expos. So my predictions tonight, I have no clue what they're going to do. But I know OOTP, when they release new sets, they like to make sure they have at least one pitcher, at least one hitter, and every once in a while, a perfect reliever. And anyone with a red X on here won't be on tonight in a peak card, because the X'd players have peak cards in the game already. So if you're a big Bobby Abreu fan, you're not going to get another peak Abreu. At least you shouldn't. Or Manny Ramirez, or Jeff Kent, or Gary Sheffield. Doesn't mean their peak card is good in the game. It just means they've already released one. So they probably won't release another one. So that means all the green check marks do not have either cards. For example, Omar Vizquel doesn't have a card in the game yet, I believe. None of them. Whereas last year, I think he had at least a bronze card. So these green checkmark players either have a non-peak card or no peak card or any card in the game yet. So my prediction is that we will see, because Rolen is the favorite to be elected in, and I'm curious, Cicero, what is the tracker saying for Rolen right now? Is his percentage higher than Helton? He must be in the 80s. I'm guessing about 85%, somewhere in there. So I'm guessing we get a perfect Rolen, because we have seen perfect Rolen cards in previous versions of the game. Okay, so Wildcat, thanks. He's just about 80%. And remember, you need 75 to get in. I do think I'm going out on a limb a little bit, and I think we get a perfect Billy Wagner. If we don't, it's going to be a high diamond. And A-Rod. I think A-Rod will be the last card Dish shows tonight, because he's the bigger name player, right? And you know, when you're putting on a show like Dish does, and he does a wonderful job, really great at what he does, and he's on 9 p.m. Eastern tonight, I think he's going to save that card till the end, and I think we're going to see a peak A-Rod. The only thing that may change this is if they're saving A-Rod for the milestone editions, because there's 2 more milestone editions still coming out, and maybe they save him for that. So I'm guessing peak Rolen, peak Wagner, and peak Rodriguez, all as perfect cards. Diamond, I think we get an Andy Pettitte. I don't believe there's an Andy Pettitte in the game yet. If it is, it's probably a platinum card, but I don't think so. I think I checked and there's no Andy Pettitte yet. He would probably be 95 or higher is my guess. And if there is another perfect card, I think it'll be Pettitte. He would have been my fourth choice. I think we might get a diamond Carlos Beltran, maybe a 93, 94 Beltran, maybe a low diamond Matt Cain. We have seen high versions of Cain in the game before. Maybe a high diamond Napoli, high to mid diamond. And if there is another diamond, it might be a low diamond, high gold Francisco Rodriguez. Now there's other players, there's Jared Weaver, there's Jason Worth. Maybe they get cards too, but I'm trying to narrow it down to my top 10 or 12. Jacob Ellsbury, don't think he has a card in the game yet this year. I think he might get a gold. I believe that Mark Burley finished his career in Toronto, I believe, in 2015 or 16. I believe he might get a high gold. Jimmy Rollins and Omar Vizquez. Vizquez better get a card tonight. And I think he deserves a diamond. I really do, based on his defense. Just like Ozzie Smith. If Ozzie Smith can have a perfect card, Vizquel deserves at least a diamond. But the game hasn't given him a lot of notoriety in terms of diamond or perfect. I think the highest they might have gone on him is a gold maybe one year. So I think he might get a mid-level gold card. And yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Those are my 12 choices. We'll see how it plays out. I can't see anyone other than Roland, Wagner, A-Rod, or Pettitte at being a perfect card. I don't see it happening. We had a debate too on Tuesday. You know, who would you rather have if you're starting off your franchise? Would you rather have Ozzie Smith or would you rather have Vizquel? And most people said defensively, they're probably about the same. But Ozzie Smith and that personality and notoriety, you're probably going to choose Smith more than you choose Vizquel. All right. Any guesses you guys have on the cards tonight? Do those seem pretty accurate? Anything that you would change there? We know it's going to be Hall of Fame ballot players. We just don't know exactly which ones. But fairly easy to predict once we know which heat cards are already in the game. All right, let me put back my main screen. And we will continue on. No, we won't be right back. We will continue on. Monday will be the last user-created player draft that we do. So currently I have 6 entries into the draft for this coming Monday. Let me just double check something here. Trusty notepad for when I want to post things in the chat. So again, if you are new to the game or new to the stream, I have started a 1921 historical random era debut franchise. We are currently, I believe, in 1927 right now, so we've been playing it for 6 years. And over the course of the last 6 years, I've asked you guys to create some players and have them drafted by, I think there's 16 teams in the league or 20 teams in the league right now. And for this coming draft, 6 of you have responded. If you want a player in the game and you want to be the next Vince Whirlwind, Vince Jags Whirlwind, or Tony the Cat Meow, or AZ Axel, who just got drafted last week, or Doc Gidge, you know, all these wonderful created players that you guys have contributed. If you want to be part of that, Just fill out this quick Google form, few questions, and I will get you in the game. After that, we're just going to play the seasons through until you guys retire. We'll see which of you make the Hall of Fame. We'll see which one of you has really good careers and are big award winners. And we'll continue to see when the star players, when does Babe Ruth get put into the game? When does Stan Musial get put in the game? So again, be fun to carry through, but our last user-created opportunity will be Monday. So get your name in there if you want a player in the game. Real baseball. On the 17th, on Tuesday, there was a lot going on. We are just over a month of pitchers and catchers reporting for spring training. It is getting close. We're about 60 some days to opening day. So not a lot of big names from Tuesday's transactions. I don't see a lot of familiar perfect team cards. Jimmy Crooks III. Wonder if he was teased growing up with that one. Yeah, no familiar names there. Yesterday was one of those rare days where there was no transactions in Major League Baseball. And today, let's see what we got going on. Tampa Bay has been active. Look at that. They are making a lot of roster moves. In fact, they take up almost all of them. So if you're a Tampa Bay Ray fan, anything jump out at you here? A lot of invitations. Most of these are invitations. They did sign Trevor Kelly to a minor league contract, and he's going to get an invite to spring training. But yeah, a lot of their transactions today are invites as they prepare for spring training. The Orioles, will they be a surprise team this year? Good, young, developing team. Reed Garrett signed to a minor league contract. Jose Herrera, catcher, signed by Arizona. Oh no, he changed his number in Arizona. Johnny Cueto signed as a free agent, former Red, by the Marlins. Interesting signing by the Marlins. Guess you're going to see if Johnny Cueto still has some stuff. Remember, he was taken out of the game. He was maybe 2 months ago, where OOTP had to take certain cards out of the game because of licensing. So that probably means Johnny Cueto will be back in the game, this time as a Marlin. Who's my pick for World Baseball? Canada. If it was the 1990s, Canada. You can never count out Cuba. You can never count out the Dominican Republic. Of course, Japan. But yeah. If I was a betting man, they're definitely going to make the Final Four. Japan, South Korea, Cuba, Dominican Republic, yeah. Yeah, I don't even know if we can say that word anymore. All we can say is the land of the rising sun. That will be my new code name. The land of the rising sun is no longer in the game anymore. So Johnny Cueto signed by the Marlins, and that looks like about it for any kind of well-known name. Tristan Gray, I've heard of before. So those are your current baseball moves. All right, we are going to shortly get into the Wheel of Destiny. The Wheel of Destiny, where we will spin the wheel and find out which teams get to play off for that final berth into the top 16 playoffs. We have 15 teams already. The first one was the 1901 Americans, and last week the 1995 Blue Jays made it in. So we've got the world champ Blue Jays of 1992, and then we've got the 95 Blue Jays. Lots of duplicate teams, 2 Blue Jays, 2 Tigers, 2 White Sox, 3 Mets. We do have a Reds, the 1953 Reds. And Gorgo, if you're ghost listening, 1953 Reds, I'm sure, are very special for you. So we will pick out the last couple of contenders in just a little bit. But as I always do, I like to go through this day in baseball. Yes, before we play our historical game, what happened in January on the 19th in baseball history? Here's a teacher pop quiz for you. Who is this guy? Come on, who is it? Who do we got here? Who is this player? Wait for the responses to come in. Cubs fan Steve, one of the brightest historical baseball minds out there. You are correct. It is Shoeless Joe. So Shoeless Joe with the White Sox on this day in 1934, then commissioner Mountain Landis turned down Shoeless Joe's bid for reinstatement. Jackson was one of the 8 Chicago White Sox banned for life for his alleged involvement in fixing the 1919 World Series against the Cincinnati Reds. He will continue to proclaim his innocence for the remainder of his life. You guys see that movie, 8 Men Out? Great. One of the best baseball movies. It's definitely one of the top 5 baseball movies of all time. 8 Men Out, all about the scandal, where these 8 White Sox were banned for life because of this fixing of the games. Yeah, well, it really was, Steve. It really was a fantastic movie. And I've, of course, never seen this guy play. All I've heard is the stories, and I've read up on him. But from what I understand, he was a very simple, hardworking, I think he was illiterate, but had a natural talent for the game. Natural talent for the game. And yeah, as Rob mentioned, 15 years after the incident, he wanted to play again. Crazy. Yeah, I agree. Crazy. But I just have a special place for Shoeless Joe Jackson. Always in Perfect Team when his cards come out. It's a card I want just for the collectability, even if it doesn't play well. So I was happy to see a tournament card for him early on. We don't know exactly what happened. He was on the starting roster in 1919. But was he involved in the fixing? Personally, I don't think so. Or if he was threatened or intimidated or highly pressured. I don't see this as a guy that is just going to say, yeah, I'm not going to perform well. I'm going to purposely lose. From what I know of him, he had a lot of heart, he had a lot of drive, and he loved to play the game. But probably because he was one of the starting players, that's probably why he was implicated and accused. So pretty sad situation. Who imagine the numbers he would have put up if he could have played for another 15 or 20 years. You know, we talk about Babe Ruth and we talk about Mickey Mantle and we talk about these legends, Hank Aaron. Imagine his numbers had he been able to play a full career. You think he just took the money and played the game? Yeah, Steve, you know what? I think you're dead on. I really do. He was probably given the money, not really understanding what it was for. Just like, hey, Shoeless Joe, hey, Joe, hey, here's your money. And he's like, oh, did I get a raise or something like that? I'm sure he took the money or it was placed in his locker, or it was on his person. Maybe it was planted, but I'm betting he didn't understand what it was all about. I still think he went out and played his heart out and did the best he could. So yeah, I think Steve, right on with Shoeless Joe. And I hope, I mean, I haven't read up recently if there's been any kind of move to have that redacted or taken out or fixed. But hopefully at some point, Shoeless Joe will have that stricken off his record. So yes, that happened on this date in 1934. So we're closing on, what is that? That is 89 years ago. Wow, 89 years ago. He hit the only home run in the series, yeah. And really, if you are being paid and you're purposely going to lose the game, are you going to go out and hit a home run? You're not going to put that full swing into it. I mean, is it proof that he wasn't part of it? No, it wasn't. Anyone can get an accidental home run with the right contact, but I don't know. I still, if I was on the jury, I would say not guilty. It's a good thing they lost, or Rothstein would have, yeah, you take my money and you yeah, sad situation. All right, next story. In 1937, on this date, on January 19th, 1937, the second, speaking of Hall of Fame, second Hall of Fame election was conducted, and Nap LaJoie, Tris Speaker, and Cy Young, all cards that are often meta in Perfect Team. Those three were elected to the Hall of Fame in the second ever vote, and they would join the first year vote. In the very first year of the Hall of Fame ballot, Babe Ruth, Honus Wagner, Ty Cobb, Christy Mathewson, and Walter Johnson. Those are your first Hall of Fame ballot selections. So really cool. It really ties Perfect Team to baseball history, because all of these cards, Cooperstown Mission, the best hitting card probably in the game that everyone wants, a topper, Honus Wagner, or a big platinum card, and one of the best cards in previous versions of the game, still is really good, Babe Ruth. Yeah, that's quite the opening class of Hall of Famers. Yeah, you guys having your conversation about the Hall of Fame? The Baseball Hall of Fame symbolically keeps him banned out of respect for the original ruling. No new evidence, even though he's likely innocent. Yeah, I don't know the names of the other 7 players that were accused, but no one at any time came forward and said, you know what, Shoeless Joe wasn't part of this. You would think as these men grew older, a conscience would have fallen on them, and they would have saying, yeah, you know what, Shoeless Joe, he's innocent. But the thing is, as Steve mentioned, Cubs fan Steve said he probably took the money. And so if you take the money, that's kind of proof that you're involved. But as I said, I don't think he took the money with the intent of what they paid him for. On this day in 1983, so now we're going back, what is this, 40 years ago today, talking about all-star shortstops or Hall of Fame shortstops. Ozzie Smith, 40 years ago today, signed the first $1 million contract given to a shortstop. The Wizard of Oz was best known for his outstanding defense, and he won his 3rd consecutive Gold Glove just prior to signing this contract. He will win 3 more Gold Gloves and be in many All-Star games, and he will hit .435. OOTP, give this guy some more hitting love. He hit .435 in the 1985 NLCS and was the MVP award winner. You feel so lucky to have see Ozzy flip in the infield. Was that a home game, Gristle Whistle? Was that in St. Louis, or did you catch him on the road? Exactly, right? How much would Ozzy make today? Well, what did Trey Turner get? Right? What did these recent outfielders or infielders get? That's comparable. You know, we're talking $25 to $30 million a season that he would get today. Maybe not as much because he didn't really have the bat. So I don't know if, I would say probably at least between 20 and 25 million that he would get. Unless it was right after his MVP award, then he probably would get closer to 27, 28 million. You were on a trip in Pittsburgh and saw him play there. Cool. Three River Stadium. Nice. Lifetime ban isn't an eternal ban. Yeah, exactly. Good point. Lifetime is the lifetime of the player. I guess there's a little bit of wording there. And on this day in history in 2009, so we're looking at 14 years ago, Bill Werber, the oldest major league. This is a cool story, guys. I love this story when I found it. The oldest remaining teammate of Babe Ruth died on this day 14 years ago. And not only was he the last living teammate of Babe Ruth, but he was also the first player at bat in the first televised game for Cincinnati. What a cool legacy. The last teammate of Babe Ruth to be alive and the first batter at bat in a televised game. Very, very cool. All right, we are up on our next ad break here, guys. We will be back after this message from our sponsors. Don't go anywhere. Lots of OOTP coming up, plus our Thursday giveaway. All right, guys, we are back. Sorry about the ad situation there. Again, just on my broadcaster screen, it said ad about to play, ad coming soon, and apparently the ad had played already. But the good news is we got 2 ads out of the way, so now it's showing me that the next ad's not going to be for another hour. So bonus, yay! All right, we can go straight through without another ad break here. So again, yeah, Twitch sometimes shows one thing and shows you guys one thing and me another thing. So we got 2 of them out of the way right off the bat. So thank you guys again for following along and watching. And Fofi, I see you're in the chat. How is Eastern Canada today? Fofi 84. You are here. Well, Fofi, you weren't here on, I don't think you were here on the last stream, but wanted to thank you again for resubscribing, because I didn't quite catch it at the end of the last stream, but I did notice that you have resubscribed, and I think this is your 2nd or 3rd month of resubscribing. So again, big shout out for you for your subscription. And like I always do, you get the singing streamer. So this one, as a Canadian, Fofi, this one's for you. Some Stompin' Tom. Hello out there, we're on the air. It's hockey night tonight. Tension grows, the whistle blows, and the puck goes on the ice. The goalie jumps, and the players bump, and the fans go insane. Someone roars, Bobby scores, the good old hockey game. Sorry guys, I didn't warn you. I did not warn you that the singing streamer was coming to life, but better than the Tina Turner version. That's what I always say. So thank you again, Fofi. Thank you for the resubscription, and Hope you get to use those emotes well. Let's go back to the game. Stompin' Tom Connors, for you Americans and Europeans out there, he was a Canadian legend in the country music industry. And if you watch hockey games, you often hear his hockey song being played. It's a classic. Yes, Gravestock. Yes, it's the best game we can name. Now we've got a choir going here. Bobby Orr. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was talking about Bobby Orr. Absolutely. Bobby scores. And there's a few other choruses, but we'll have to wait till Fofi resubscribes next month to get to verse 2. If he's a teacher, it explains why he's easy to understand. Well, yeah, I've had a lot of practice. Yes. The best game you can name. All right, good. Yeah, got to get in my Canadian content because you know the CRTC, right, Fofi? The CRTC, if you don't put any Canadian content, I got to get my 15% in. Otherwise, they take me off the airwaves. I can't have that. All right, let's get to one more comment here. Speaking of hockey, your Flyers are making a nice little push. Any team that has John Tortorella in his first couple years usually does pretty good. He is a great coach for the first 2 or 3 years he's on a team. And then the players kind of get tired of him and they stop listening. So yes, Flyers. Fantasy franchise hockey manager 8. I played a lot up to and including 7, but once I started streaming and playing Perfect Team, I kind of haven't played version 8 yet. So haven't played 8 yet. No. Definitely, Torts is like the Billy Martin of hockey. Yeah, really good coach, really good teacher, but really old school. You know, he gives you a job or a task to do, you better do it. So absolutely. All right. It is that time. Although I'd like to chat to you guys all day, I got to do some OOTP content. So let's get in to our historical exhibition, where again, we play a 1-game series with no injuries. Good. And now we have to go to the Wheel of Destiny. There he is again, Canadian legend, Stompin' Tom. As everyone Googles Stompin' Tom and goes on iTunes and looks for the hockey song, you can find it on YouTube very easy. All right, we are going to spin the wheel. Let's remove that advertisement because, hey, we see enough ads during the day. There we go. We are looking for our 2 eras. Era number 1 is... we are going to get a modern team, 2005 to 2021. Modern times. Team number 2 will be from (1961 to 1979). Better known as Baseball Boom. Baseball Boom. All right, next we have to look for the specific years. We spin the hound for the years, and our first team, our modern team, is going to be from the year whichever the 15th on the list is. So let me do some counting here. Well, look at that, 2019. So we've got a team from 2019. They will play against The seventh listed year from Baseball Boom 1967. All right, all you Gen Xers out there that were born in the mid to late 60s, team from that era. And now we got to look for the specific teams. And we're going to spin the coffee cup for that. From the modern era, we will be using the 14th team on the list. Let's see who that is. The Texas Rangers, the 2019 Texas Rangers. They will play off against almost a viewer's choice, but the 16th team. Well, you Mets fans, it ain't the Miracle Mets, but it's pretty close. We've got the 1967 Mets. And the last thing we have to decide, will the Mets keep home field advantage? Let's spin the cat. Will the Mets keep home field advantage? And the cat has spoken. No, they will not. All right. So we're going to flip home field advantage, flip those teams. There we go. And again, if you're new to OOTP, in the base game, you can click on historical game and you can set up any year, any team, and have them face off in a 1-game, 7-game, 9-game World Series, and set up how you want the rotation of days to go, if there's a DH, not a DH. So we are going no DH, as we've done with all games so far. So we want to keep it fair. And we are going to, as we always do, use the modern era, because you either have to pick modern or one of the two teams playing. So modern, although it will favor the Angels, favors them a little bit less if we pick their specific year. All right, we're going to create the exhibition. Both teams finished that season under 500, 61 wins for the Mets, 78 wins for the Rangers. Do they get juiced balls? Well, it is modern era. We will see. All right, here we go. Let's take a look at our lineups. Any Mets fans out there, by the way? Mr. Grisham, Rich, are you watching? Any Mets fans? For your 1967 New York Mets, we have leading off shortstop Bud Harrelson. Second is left-handed hitting Ed Kranepool. Bob Johnson is third at second base. Tommy Davis will be hitting in the cleanup. Playing right field, Ron Swoboda. Third base, Ed Charles. Jerry Groot will be catching the game. And Amos Otis, look at that. A card I've used so much in bronze tournaments. Amos Otis, who played from 1967 all the way up to 1984. Played until he was 37 years old. 34.7 WAR. 193 home runs, over 1,000 RBIs, and almost 350 stolen bases. All right, we know Asherville. We know who Asheville is going to be voting for. They are going to be cheering for the Mets. So Amos Otis is hitting 8th, and the Mets have Tom Seaver on the mound. Cooperstown Card. Tom Seaver, 22 years old. So he's only been in the league for, this is his rookie year. This is Tom Seaver's rookie year, and he's pitching this pivotal game. In real life, let's see his pitching stats. He went 16-13, had a 4 WAR, 170 Ks. So yeah, he did. 2.76 ERA. Does anyone know, did Tom Seaver win Rookie of the Year in 1967? Someone do a quick check for me. Who was the 1967 Rookie of the Year? Because those look like Rookie of the Year numbers. Although he was a pitcher. Batting-wise, he hit 143, which I guess for a pitcher is, he had 5 RBIs, including 2 doubles and 11 hits. He will be pitching for the 67 Mets. For your 2019 Texas Rangers, we have Delino DeShields Jr. leading off, Elvis Andrus in the second spot. Playing first base, Danny Santana. Joey Gallo, 25-year-old Joey Gallo. Look at that power and look at the avoid Ks. He will strike out or hit a home run. Maybe. Nick Solak playing second base. Willie Calhoun in left field. Playing third base and batting 7th, we have Isaiah Kiner Falafa. Catching for the Texas Rangers, Jose Trevino, and pitching for your Texas Rangers, 32-year-old Lance Lynn. This was his second last year in the league, unless he's still pitching now, which I think he is. And in terms of his year, in 2019, he went 16-11 with a 3.67 ERA and a 5.7 WAR. That was his highest WAR year as of so far. All right, Seaver versus Lance Lynn. Let's do this. We will go runners in scoring position until we get to the 8th inning, and then we will play it out. If it goes extra innings, we will go back to runners in scoring position. Modern era settings, I think it's going to be a high scoring game. I'm going to go 7-5. My prediction, 7-5. All right, top of the first, we have a runner on second base. Bud Harrelson is on second for the Mets. Bob Johnson, the number 3 hitter, up at the plate. Good power, good contact, and the runner goes and is safe. Bud Harrelson steals third base. All we need is a sac fly, and that will score the first run. Here is the pitch. It is hit to the first baseman, but that will score Bud Harrelson. And your 61 win Mets score the first run. All right, we move to the bottom of the first. And now we have the Rangers with Delino DeShields on second, Elvis Andrus at the plate. What can Elvis do? He hits a weak ball to shortstop, but that will advance the runner. With 1 away, DeShields at third, Danny Santana at the plate. Here's the pitch. Santana drives one, and what a play by the right fielder. And they catch the runner coming from third. A double play for the 1967 Mets. Wow. We had Ron Sabota, who was up at the plate, throw out, not only make the diving catch. No, actually, that was the Rangers that made that play. That was Joey Gallo. Wow. Joey Gallo caught the ball and threw out the runner coming in from third. All right, the Mets lead it off. Runners in scoring position. Ron Swoboda on second base. Jerry Grote at the plate. Here's the pitch, and a weak played a shortstop, throwing out the runner. 2 away. Amos Otis. 30 power, 40 contact. Drives one to right field. Is that going to fall? No. Joey Gallo makes the play. Nothing for the Mets in the top of 2. No, that was Ron Swoboda. Ron Swoboda did make that throw out to home. We are in the bottom of the second, and a deep drive to center field. Going, and that one is caught on the warning track. Joey Gallo, that far away from tying up the game. We go to top of 3. Nothing for the Mets. Bottom of 3. Runner on second, no one out for Jose Trevino. And the ball gets away from the catcher. That is going to move the runner. No, the runner stays at second. Didn't get far enough away. Here's the pitch. A fly ball. Center fielder's going to grab that. And that is going to be the first out. Easy play for Amos Otis. Strikeout, 2 away. Lance Lynn strikes out looking. Delino DeShields at the plate. Runner on second, 2 away. Weak squibber up first base. Got him. And the Mets ahead after 3, 1-0. 3 runs now for the Mets. They got a couple. Let's see what they did here. Probably a walk and a home run. No, a single by Bob Johnson and a 2-run shot by Ron Swoboda. Ron Swoboda with the 2-run shot. 3-0 Mets. Swoboda is making plays in the outfield. He's throwing out players at the plate, and he hit a 2-run shot. Early MVP candidate. Nothing for the Mets in the rest of the inning. We go to bottom of 4. Tom Seaver takes care of them. Top of 5, Lance Lynn has pitched 4 innings, no walks, 3 Ks. And Amos Otis is on second base for pitcher Tom Seaver. Seaver with the bunt down the first base line, a perfect bunt, advancing Otis to third, and Bud Harrelson looking to drive him in. He takes the inside pitch. Runners on the corner. 1 away. Ed Kranepool at the plate. Kranepool drives one to deep center field. Going. And that one is out of here. Grandma, get the knitting needles. You're going to have to make some booties for Mr. Ed Kranepool. Got to keep those tootsies warm in the wintertime. Kranepool with a 3-run shot. 6-0 Mets over the New York Rangers. We go to bottom of 5. Tom Seaver, 4 innings, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. He takes them down. We go to top of 6. Bottom of 6. And the Angels can get nothing done on Tom Seaver. The rookie, Tom Seaver, throwing a 2-hitter after 6 innings. Minor is in the game now. We'll give him 1 batter. He strikes him out. We go to bottom of 7. Andrews at the plate. He drives one to third, and he is going to not quite beat it out. 1 away. And Seaver retires the side. We go to top of 8. 6-0 for the New York Mets from 1967, and they have runners on the corner for catcher Jerry Grote. He drives one, no, pop up to the shortstop. Easy play. Runners stay where they are. Amos Otis Can he be the hero? No, he hits into a fielder's choice, which is going to retire the side. We go to bottom of 8. 2 more innings for the Rangers to make something happen. First runner on board. What a diving play by the Mets second baseman, Bob Johnson. Was that a Bob? Yes, it was. Bob Johnson with the diving play to save the single. That one is driven deep to left field on the warning track. That is going to be caught. Wind must have caught that one and kept it in play. 2 away, runner on first. The Rangers looking for their first run of the game. Tom Seaver is now being replaced by Don Cardwell. Cardwell coming in. Hunter Pence pinch hitting for the Rangers pitcher. Pence drives one and it's going to drop into left field. That puts a second runner on. Still a long way to go. Delino DeShields, top of the order for the Rangers. Here's the pitch. And he goes down. Looking. Top of 9. Nothing for the Mets. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Elvis Andrus at the plate. Hits one down the line to third baseman. That is grabbed and throws him out. Danny Santana. He drives one into right field. Every on-base runner is going to count. Joey Gallo, who just missed a home run earlier in the game. Can he get the Rangers on the board? He drives one to center field. That is going to drop. Runner holds on second base. We have a rally going. 2 on, 1 out for Nick Solak, second baseman. And he advances the runner, and he does get on base. He beats it out. What hustle by Nick Solak. And the Rangers have the bases loaded. The 1967 Mets have brought in closer Ron Taylor to face Willie Calhoun, the number 6 hitter for the Rangers. Here's the pitch. He drives one into center field, but not deep. Is that going to fall? No, Amos Otis will grab that. Runners hold. Bases remain loaded. We have a pinch hitter coming in. You know him. The Blue Jays know him, as he got into that, I think it was 2016. He got into that ALCS, I think, playoffs with the Blue Jays and the Rangers. The second baseman, Odor, with Jose Bautista, which I think then led to the bat flip. So we've got pinch hitter Odor coming into the game. Bases loaded, 2 away. Ron Taylor on the mound. Here's the pitch. And Odor drives that one into right, but that is going to be caught. And your 1967 Mets, say it ain't so. Your 67 Mets will take this game easily. 6-0. Player of the game must be Tom Seaver. Yes, it is. Tom Seaver goes 7 1/3 inning, only gave up 2 hits, 3 walks and 4 strikeouts. Lance Lynn takes the loss, going 4 1/3 inning, 6 earned runs, 1 walk, and 3 Ks. For the Texas Rangers, again, only 6 hits. No player more than 1 hit. For your 67 Mets, we have Bob Johnson with 2 hits, Ron Swoboda, 2 hits, and Mr. Ed Charles also with 2 hits. Only 2 home runs in the game. Ron Swoboda hit 1 in the 4th inning with 1 on and 1 out, and Ed Kranepool hit 1 in the 5th inning with 2 on and 1 out. That accounted for 5 of the 6 Met runs. All right, let me switch back to my main screen. So we now have our 16th contender for the 16-team Tournament of Champions. And the way the bracket will be set up will be exactly like you see it here. The team on the left-hand side will face off against the team directly on its right. So we'll have our first game next week. The 1901 Americans will face off against the 1980 Mets. So we've got 4 Mets teams. 4. Wow, what are the odds of that? 4 of the 16, 25% of the teams will be New York Mets. 2 on each side of the bracket, so we have a good chance of 1 Mets team at least making the all-time World Series. The bat flip came first? Yes. You're right. You're right. Yeah, the bat flip first, and then Rogan Odor and Bautista got mixed up in some shenanigans a little bit later in the game. That was a fun playoff run by the Blue Jays. Bautista, Edwin E., Josh Donaldson, Francisco Liriano, David Price was on that team. Can't remember who else they had for pitchers on there. But yeah, that was a fun run by the Blue Jays. Hopefully we'll see that again in the next few years. Thanks again for everyone tuning in and watching as I just check my Twitch monitor here. Thank you, Tom Medelic, again for the follow, and for El Ruhi 48. You are very much appreciated as well. Thank you for the follow. And yes, OOTP 23 is the game, amongst a lot of other things that we cover as well. So again, we don't have another break coming up for another half hour, which is good. We had kind of 2 in a row. Thank you there to Twitch for doing that. But I do want to get into the teams, because it is time to open some packs. All right, let me load up the team here. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Thursday and have a lot of fun things planned for the weekend. Watch some NFL football playoffs. All right, make sure we got this going here. That works. And how about this? All right, we are going to start with the Rocky Mountain Gladiators and do a little bit of recap. Yes, before the dogs get going, before who let the dogs out? Woof, woof. Before we get some of those emotes going, let's look at where our Gladiators are. Again, if you're unfamiliar with my team, hey, I just sold him yesterday and he just sold. Way to go. 257 perfect points. And yes, have your card shop ready, because when I open packs, if I get duplicates, I put them on the market for the best deal. Again, if you're unfamiliar with my main team, this is the team that I started right at the very beginning of OOTP 23. We've got a team that went from entry pool right to silver. They didn't need to be in rookie and stone and iron and bronze. No, this team went from entry pool to silver. Yeah, because they're the Gladiators. They didn't need to play 3 leagues below them. So they went right to silver, went to bronze. They were demoted to bronze, back up to silver, and never really looked back. Ever since the year 2027, they have been gold or higher. So I say that's a pretty good run. In fact, from 2041 all the way to current 2058, They've been in diamond or perfect. 2 perfect years, 2049 and 2053, and 3 championships, a gold and 2 diamond, the most recent one coming in 2048. So that is a look. You see, they've made the playoffs quite a few times. And their best record thus far was in gold, 119 wins and 43 losses. That was way back in 2040. So there is our history lesson with the Rocky Mountain Gladiators. Looking at our pitching staff, we are running a lefty cheese staff, and they are being pushed to their limits. Each of the pitch counts is at 133 because, again, listening to the minds that I consider some of the best in the game, your Snail Man, your Kidneys, the Durden, the X, the Astor, I rock this. A lot of the really good analytical minds in OOTP have kind of taught me strategies to use. And I go back and forth using different ones. I am currently using the one that utilizes your starting pitchers to be studs and to use them. So let me just, I'm going to show you something here that Snail Man, I'm sure he wouldn't, as long as he gets credit, I'm sure he wouldn't mind, but he shared this on EVC stream a while back. And by a while back, I mean a few days ago. Let me see if I can find it here. Here we go. So this is credit to Snail Man, one of the best analytical minds in the game. He has brought us so many different possible strategies. So on EVC stream, he posted this. Starting pitching recovery has breakpoints based on stamina. So you either want to be under 70 pitch count, so they recover in 4 days, or somewhere between 120 and 140. So either go with a 4-man rotation and a pitch count under 70, or a 5-man rotation with a pitch count over 120. Now, I know there's always new strategies coming out. There's another one floating out there, but these are 2 of the more popular ones currently in Perfect Team. A 4-man rotation with a low pitch count, or a 5-man rotation with a high pitch count. So thank you to Snail Man for always sharing his little bits of information to help us other players become a little bit better. And so this is how you would decide on which type of rotation to use. If you have some of the best pitchers in the game, you want the 5-man rotation. And currently right now, I have my 5-man rotation. I think I have 5 of the 10 best left-handers in the game. Lefty Grove, I consider one of the top 2 or 3. Cliff Lee, Hal Newhouser, Carl Hubble, cards aren't loading properly, and Tom Glavine. I think they're, of the lefties, 5 of the top 10. So because I have some of the stud pitchers in a lefty cheese park, I'm going the 5-man high pitch count. If you are going 4-man, you need that strong bullpen, as Rob mentioned. You better have a really, really good bullpen. In fact, your bullpen's probably better than your starters, because your starters are going to go anywhere between 4 and 5 innings with a pitch count under 70. Likely about 4 or 4.5 innings. And then it's going to go to your bullpen, and your bullpen's going to get the bulk of work. And the other thing, a 4-man rotation, you have to micromanage a little bit, because your bullpen will wear down if you have only 11 or 12 pitchers. So every once in a while, you need to monitor your bullpen. And if you see a lot of hourglasses that are empty, you need to move 1 or 2 guys out of your bullpen and bring a couple guys in. So if I was using it, I would bring in Vida Blue every couple weeks because he's a really good pitcher that is going to do okay in my bullpen. I might bring in Tex Houston. So I would sub out two of my weaker bullpen guys. I might take out Eckersley and Galvin and bring in Blue and Houston. And then 2 weeks later, swap them again just to keep your bullpen fresh. So if you have mid-tier pitchers or lower-tier pitchers, go with the 4-man rotation, really good bullpen. If you have stud pitchers, like I think I do, for a lefty cheese park, go with 5-man rotation, high pitch count. Do I use aggressive tiredness? I flip that on and off. Right now I have it on, Heath, so I believe I do. Let me just check here quick. Let's go and look at Carl Hubble. Yeah. I do have my aggressive hooks on. And for your bullpen guys, I like to keep bullpen at 35 pitches for a starter and between 20 and 25 pitches for a reliever. And I got to change Pud Galvin because he shouldn't be that high. Because remember, if you move starters to the bullpen, they lose some of their stuff. So I may not show it on the card, but right now, Cliff Lee has 99 stuff. If I move him to the bullpen, his stuff won't be as effective. That's just kind of the penalty that they give for moving starters to the bullpen. So keep that in mind too when you're considering who your bullpen guys are and who your starters are. If you have a starter with stuff of 70 and you move him to the bullpen, he's probably going to get shelled because his 70 is not going to be 70 anymore. Let me think about that. Is stuff boosted or is it eliminated? Yeah, I'd have to double check. I think it might be eliminated. I think it's reduced. But you could be right, Fofi. Like, yeah. Is it boosted, Cobra? Okay. My apologies. My mistake. Stuff is boosted. I was thinking because they were talking Pud Galvin is not as good in the bullpen. So I assumed that's because his stuff was reduced. But it's boosted. In the old days, it was boosted. All right. Well, yeah, I'm going to double check into that if it's boosted or reduced. I thought they lost something on stuff or velocity or something. Hey, congrats, Rob. You won another Ace of Bronze. Well, excellent. Congratulations. Anyway, focusing more on your rotation, 5-man, high pitch count with really good pitchers. If you're running a righty cheese, then you want Greg Maddux. You want Walter Johnson. You want those high-end right-hand pitchers. Lefty cheese, I think these are 5 of the best ones. And is it working for me? Well, let's see. Right now in Diamond, I'm 52-40. 3.5 games back. So for me, I see that as successful. I really do see that as successful. Because if you look at my lineup, I don't have Ty Cobb. I don't have Honus Wagner. I don't have Rogers Hornsby. I don't have Lou at first base or Frank Thomas or Mike Schmidt or Sam Crawford or Ricky Henderson. I don't have any of those meta players. Heck, I'm still using Larry Walker. Larry Walker. I'm using in right field. I'm using Hank Aaron, Rod Carew. Like these are players that typically you would see stop being used in gold or diamond. So for me to be above 500 and within the lead, I consider my pitching rotation to be successful. I think it's working. Even though Tom Glavine is over 6, I'm happy with how it's working out. but we'll keep an eye on it. Eckersley, I'm starting to lose my interest in Eckersley. He's off to a bad start. He's got a 10 ERA, 10. But Pud, although there's a lot of Pud is very polarizing, guys. Pud is very polarizing. Some people love him and some people hate him. Some people, their analytics say he's good. Some people say he's not so good. I go by intuition, just like a lot of players do. Even Cobra said a lot of times he goes by the feel of the game. And right now, Pud Galvin is 2.89 ERA, 4 wins, 1 loss as a bullpen guy. So I'm okay leaving him there. And I did take his pitch count off of 113. I'm going to put it back because I'm not going to mess with what was working. I'm going to put that high pitch count back because who knows? Who knows how this algorithm works? All right, let's take a look at your comments here, guys, because, yeah, maybe you guys have corrected me on the stuff. Let's see. I don't use specialists, although that might be a good idea. I think if Pud's numbers were awful, Lil Chef, then I might change his role around a little bit. But like I said, he's 4-1, a 2.87 ERA. I'm going to keep him as use more often middle relief guy. Feels backward in regards to Rio baseball. I thought they gave relievers a stuff boost. Yeah, stuff is boosted. Yeah, we did. They did correct me, Fofe. Yeah, stuff is boosted. I got it mixed up. What else do we got going on? Relievers get hooked faster. Yep. So you got to watch your pitch count on your relievers because, yeah, they will get hooked faster. Totally agree there. And it's boosted. It's just not shown on the card. It's hidden. So there we go. Cobra is right dead on there. So when you use a starter in the bullpen, it shows 87 stuff, but the stuff will be boosted. It will be higher. Thank you for the students correcting the teacher. Awesome. I got it backwards, got it mixed up. And Gristle Whistle, is it a good idea with bullpen guys who have higher stamina to have them selected as used more often? I can't comment on that one way or the other. A lot of times I will use them all as normal usage and I won't play around with that. If someone's really bad, but by diamond, you shouldn't have anyone really bad. But if someone's really bad, then I would go avoid high leverage or use less often. Right now, I wouldn't have more than 1 or 2 guys as used more often. Some managers do have a couple used more often. Some have them all in normal usage. That's kind of a personal preference. I haven't heard anything one way or the other about what the proper way is to use. And I don't use specialists usually, although Pud, yeah, definitely, when we look at his ratings, he's much better against the right-handed batters. I just don't know if specialists work properly in the game like they should, like in a real-life situation. I don't know if they work in that proper way. Like I said, I am still learning this game every day. I kind of take information off some of these people that are in Perfect League and kind of go by the feel of it. And right now, the feel of the Gladiators is that they're doing pretty good. With this lineup, they're doing pretty good. In fact, Mickey Cochran is hitting 327 for the team right now. Joe Morgan hitting 307. Jim Thome, 296. That's good for Jim Thome. Jim Thome, a home run guy, a power guy, and he's hitting 296. 307 for Oscar Charleston. So I do have some guys that are rising to the top. Stolen base-wise, Oscar Charleston has stolen 33 bases, only caught 11 times. So I think Oscar Charleston's strategy for his running is at a level I'm comfortable with. So it seems like he steals 3 out of every 4 bases, basically. I could be a little more aggressive if I want, but I'm happy with that. If you look at the base stealing leaders, Billy Hamilton, 62, and 2 other Oscar at 50 or 41. In fact, my Jim Tomei leading the league in home runs with 25. And I've got his strategies toned way down, way down. So fatigue of 96. And then I don't want him stealing. I don't put the base running all the way down because I think you might get penalized maybe a little bit. So you do want to have at least a little bit in the red. In fact, some would say move it even up higher. But I kind of like where it's at right now. Leave it like that. So yeah, Jim Tomei is doing well. Exactly, D Dempsey. Yep. Typically, if I remain in diamond and make the playoffs, I'm not going to change too much unless I bring in a lot of new players. Yes, I do actually, Erie. I do for unless I forget because I just brought him on the team. But yeah, I will set strategies for the players. In fact, let me go to so Mickey Cochran, Willie McCovey. So Rod Carew, I haven't because I brought him in recently, so I forgot to do him. But I'll quickly do him now. I kind of look at his overall. He can run, he can steal. He's got good contact, good BABIP. And then you got to look at who he follows in the order. So Carew is after Oscar Charleston. You want Carew to have high hit and run because Charleston has speed. If this was Jim Tomei above Carew, you don't put Carew on high hit and run because it's going to be strike, throw him out, or it's going to be a double play. Never put a high hit and run on a guy with a slower runner in front of them. You don't want to do that. So on my strategy, I've got Cochran, McCovey, Votto. Let's do his quickly. Again, I like to look who's hitting or who's in front of him. Rod Carew. So Votto can hit and run a little bit. Don't want him stealing much. Don't want him bunting. You want him for the power. You don't want your power guys doing a lot of bunting. But I never always turn him down to exactly 0. I always kind of one tick above. And I don't want to pinch hit for Joey Votto. So I always click that for my big power guys. I mean, why replace a power guy for another guy coming off the bench that's probably not as good as him? I mean, I guess if the pitching rotation changes and they start with a righty and they bring in a lefty, maybe you want to pinch hit for him. But Joey Votto is pretty good from what I remember. He's pretty good on both sides of the plate for his contact anyway. So yeah, I'm okay not pinch hitting for him. Rod Carew, he's got Charleston in front of him. I don't mind if he hits and runs. He's got a little bit of speed. I never override team settings unless it's a player like Cool Papa Bell with just extraordinary outlying factors. I always keep it on adjust to team strategy. Don't want him bunting. Don't want him bunting for a hit, I don't think. Let's see. Rod Carew. Well, he can bunt for a hit the odd time. Keep those at the middle. And if I do pinch hit for him, I want it late in the game. So yeah, I do, Erie, I do set individual players. I don't know how much of a difference it makes. but I go through and I set these on. Usually put bench when fatigued at 96%. So there we go. And then same with the pitchers. Typically, I will do that. Let's see. Let's see if I've got these guys. Except for the newer pitchers. Oh, I haven't. I haven't for the pitchers. So pitchers I've left, but I probably should adjust them a little bit. Remember, for all you new players out there, remember that your player is going to perform based on the talent level in your league. Typically, that's how it works. So if you have a Tom Glavine with a movement of 108, but there are 70% of pitchers in your league above 108 movement, your Glavine's probably not going to have as great of a year. If all the other pitchers in your league are under 108 movement, your Glavine will probably have better results because he is competing against the talent level in his league. Same with the batters. Yogi Berra, who I consider probably the best catcher, all-around catcher in the game. If I could have any catcher in the game right now, it would be Yogi Berra. Not the greatest hitter of all the catchers, but I love that defense. He is going to, what is his zone rating right now? Yeah, it's just barely above 0. But with catcher ability of 105, he is going to make your pitchers better. He is supposedly supposed to get better results out of your pitching staff. So I do like Yogi Berra. I picked him off the card shop for about 110,000. Right now, the lowest one is 200,000. So people are catching on about Yogi Berra. You could have got him for under 100,000 a couple weeks ago, but there's been a much bigger demand for Yogi lately. So glad I got him when I did. Plus, he's part of a couple missions. Triple Crown, another reason his price has gone up because he's part of the Triple Crown seasons. And CC3. All right, we do finally have another ad break coming up, guys. So once we get back, we will rip some packs and you can bring the dogs out and let them bark all they want. We will be back right after these messages. All right, we are back for probably be our last segment here. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. Lots of you still on the stream today. Thank you again, GXP. Thank you for the follow 10 minutes ago. You are awesome, and I hope you are having a wonderful Thursday as we get closer to the weekend. And yes, we will be doing our draw for 20 standard packs, 10 to 2 different users in about 20, 25, maybe 30 minutes. We'll see how the pack opening goes. Again, no one coming on to stream, no other affiliates until I believe 4:30 Eastern. So I've got a little bit of time to play with if I need to go a little bit longer. And yes, the strategies. We're kind of talking about player strategies. Another one that I didn't have done was Dave Bancroft. So Dave Bancroft, kind of a guy I probably will replace pretty soon, but really good defensive shortstop. A lot of people took him in the free choice pack, and he became kind of the flavor of the month for a long time being used. He is going to get you some really good zone rating. Right now, he's at 6.1 for me as kind of a backup, which is really good. And if I look at his career in Rocky Mountain, his zone rating has been 19, 15, 17. So high teens as kind of a utility player. He's never really played more than, half of the season. So I still like to set strategies for all my players. Now, Bancroft, where is he here? Bancroft. Look at his sacrifice bunt and his bunt for hit. Undoubtedly, he probably has the highest in the league for these two combined. So when I look at where he is in the lineup, well, he's a bench player, so who knows where the AI is going to put him when he comes in. But he does have that high sack bunt, high bunt for hit. So on him, I am going to pump those up a little bit because he is probably the best in the league at that. I don't mind if he tries to bunt for a hit. Looks like he's successful, or sacrifices. Hit and run, don't want a lot of that. His base running, how was he as a runner? A little bit average. I'm going to tone it down just a little bit. I don't want him running into an out, that's for sure. And I always like to lock the strategies because, as it says here, use this if you don't want the AI to make changes. And I don't trust the AI. So I always want my player to follow through with the strategies I set. So I always lock them if I remember. I don't want to use him as a pinch hitter if tired. This is always automatically checked on. I like to check it off on my weaker hitters. I don't want to use him as a pinch hitter normally, and especially if he's tired, I don't want to use him as a pinch hitter. And if he's in the game and we're behind, minimum inning to remove for pinch hitter, I go a little early on guys like that. I don't mind them being replaced a little earlier in the game. So yeah, as I think a Gristle that mentioned, or Heath that mentioned, didn't know about the little blue arrows. Yeah, that's much easier when you're going through setting your strategies. So again, I typically don't change this one here unless it's a cool Papa Bell type of person. And I don't play around with these. I don't force a lineup spot. I don't really care about that. And again, 96 or 97 is typically what I have for fatigue rate. So each individual player, you can kind of look around and see how you want to adjust things. If your player is in a big slump, like someone mentioned, Yogi Berra is not hitting well for them. What's my Yogi at? My Yogi's hitting 277 in Diamond. I'm okay with that. I'm happy with that. But if your player's in a slump, and this could all be conspiracy, but it works for me. Remember, I go based on feel of the game and of the players. So if your player's in a slump, what I like to do is just to go to their strategy and say, hey, Larry Walker, I'm going to bench you for 1 day or 2 days. My thinking is if it's just like real life and you bench a guy, he might rebound. Rather than keep him in the slump, I typically like to bench him for 1 or 2 games. Just something that I do. All right, let's look at the chat here before we go to packs. Zone rating higher than batting average. Been trying your hand at some bronze live tournaments. You put Schwarber, Gallo, Stanton all in the same lineup. Yeah, I don't think I used Stanton in my bronze live. Yeah, you're right. As I mentioned earlier, I did notice that he was now in a mission, so that obviously is going to drive his pack price or his price up. Yeah, Ludlud, absolutely. Berra has gone up, but I think he's also gone up because the demand for people to get them in his lineup. So I think it's a combination of mission and people finding out that, yeah, this catcher can help your pitchers out. I didn't lock it for Votto. All right, well, let's go and make sure. Let's go and make sure I have done that. Not a big deal. I don't think locking is a make or break. Yeah, I did lock it for Votto. I don't think it's a big make or break, but I just don't like the AI messing with my lineup if they don't have to. So yeah, Charleston will lock him. I'm going to move his running up a little bit because he's been pretty successful. So I'm going to take a little more higher steal and base running approach. So there we go. And I would do the same for pitchers. So with Cliff Lee, stuff, movement, control, you take a look at that and then you adjust. Oh, I did adjust them. Okay, over here on the right side, you see my adjustments for Cliff Lee. So I have a slow hook on him because he has a high pitch count. I don't like any of my pitchers intentionally walking guys. Not at this level. I don't care who they're facing. They're facing all good players. So I don't want to put a free man on base. Unless a meta Willie Mays comes out, I don't think I would intentionally walk. It's too bad you couldn't program that. Like intentionally walk only guys with power over 150 or something like that. Well, that would be a cool feature. If you could set the power rating of guys to walk, like only walk guys over 150 power, eighth inning or later, ahead by 1 run, something like that. That would be cool. I mean, you can do it generally with the general settings, but not individually. Hold runner. So when I look at Cliff Lee, his hold runner is very good. Very good. 86. Again, probably one of the highest in this Diamond League that I'm in. So because his hold runner is high, I want it high. Play infield in. I always, because I have really good defense, I've got Bancroft, Jackie Robinson, Brooks Robinson. Because I have really good defensive infielders, I crank these up pretty high for all my pitchers. You'll notice that for all my pitchers, I adjust some of the top part, but I keep kind of that bottom part pretty consistent. And again, pitch counts, it's always a good idea to have pitch counts between 25 and 30 on a reliever. And your starters, they can be whatever. Halliday, I didn't put one in, but I'm going to put 40 on Halliday. Because I think, as Cobra mentioned earlier, they tire a lot quicker in the pen than they would as a starter. And tiredness hook, yeah, I just keep that on. And I don't lock the strategies here because, I don't know, I do for the batters, but for some reason I don't for the pitchers. And I never bench them. I never say, okay, you've had 2 bad games, I'm going to bench you, because they only pitch every 4 or 5 days anyway. So they always get that rest. All right, we'll look at the chat one more time. What about walk guys in certain spots in the lineup? Like only intentional walk? Yeah, I guess that would be a cool feature. Although, again, the way the AI works, like, does that mean every time they're going to walk the 3rd and 4th guy? And then managers might get around that and say, okay, I'm going to put my power guys at number 2 and 5 because this guy always walks the number 3 and 4 guys. So yeah, it's just another nuance to the game that I guess they could put in, like intentional walks under different situations. So the Rocky Mountain Gladiators currently are first in home runs with 119. Wow. We have the most home runs in the league in Diamond. Tomei, Aaron, Charleston with 10. Only Yogi Berra and Dave Bancroft don't have a home run. That shocks me. That really shocks me that I'm leading the league in home runs with 119. Because like I said, guys, my batting lineup, let's take a look at just another team here that probably is a lot better than mine on paper. Like, look at Cleveland. They're 61 and 30. They've got Rogers, Hornsby, Carl Yastrzemski, Knapp, Lajoie, Brooks Robinson, Honus Wagner, Mickey Mantle, Ted Williams, Mike Trout, and Aaron Judge. I don't have Mantle, Williams, Trout, Judge, Wagner, Lajoie, Yastrzemski. I don't have any of those guys. And somehow I'm leading the league in home runs. 10 more home runs than his team. Third in home runs is this team. They've got Lou, Pujols, Babe Ruth, Aaron Judge, Tris Speaker, Ken Griffey Jr. So that's at least a little closer to my team. So sometimes this game can throw a curveball, no pun intended. It can throw a curveball at you and your team performs better than expected. Remember, though, I am in a lefty cheese ballpark. So it is going to give a boost to my left-handed hitters. And look at my left-handed hitters. McCovey, Cochrane, Berra, Votto, Carew, Morgan, Tomei. Like 5/7 of my lineup is left-handers. So they get that lefty cheese advantage at home. So therefore going to hit more home runs because I have it maxed out. Therefore, I have the lead in home runs. The overall record, there we are right there. We're kind of in the top third. So avoiding relegation for now. And our home record is 27-21. We're a little bit, well, actually, we're just as good on the road. We're 26-19. So any team we face that's lefty cheese, it's going to be our advantage as well. So kind of cool. And sometimes it might be good to do that, just to look at your different teams. Click on their info, go over to their ballpark, and take a look at what settings they're using. So this team here is exactly what I'm doing. Exactly. Maximize the left-handed batters for contact BABIP and maximize them for home runs. So when I go and play in Andor, it's not just an advantage for his team, but also for my team because I'm running mainly lefty batters. And you can go and you can quickly scroll through all the teams. Here's more of a neutral ballpark. Here's one where it's a little bit more high BABIP and less home runs. So that's how you can micromanage your team, guys. If you have a lot of time, and let's say you're playing Bichette's Creek, maybe you want to bench some of your power guys and put in more of your contact guys against this team in their ballpark, because your home run guys are going to be nerfed a little bit and your gap guys and your contact guys aren't going to suffer as much. So maybe you tweak your lineup a little bit depending on the ballpark you're in. Here's another lefty cheese. Not completely, but gives advantage to the lefty hitters. So when I go visit Everett, advantage me with my lefty rotation. Here's completely neutral. So you want to make sure you have right-handed hitters, left-handed hitters. There's no advantage home run or BABIP. Not many teams have a completely neutral ballpark. A lot of teams want to nerf the power. If you have a lot of power guys like Cleveland Fossils, you don't nerf home runs with your power guys, because why limit your own players and put it at 0.90? It doesn't make sense. So every Sunday, if you're not in the playoffs, you can go into customized settings right here, customize team. If you haven't done this already, you should, especially once you get past silver. Doesn't matter as much in the lower levels, but when you get to silver or beyond, you definitely should go into customized teams on a Sunday. And if you haven't been there for a while, it takes a while to load up because it's got to load all the logos. And then if a sim comes in, hey, it's going to take even longer. And I'm sure most of you know, because I see a lot of you using kind of custom logos, but it's on this screen, customized team, where you can go in, you can name your ballpark, you can pick any of the logos that they show here, or import them from a mod. And you can go to advanced settings. And when you get to advanced settings here, you can design your home uniform, your away uniform. Look at that. Beautiful. Look at that gladiator uniform. You can import different logos that you want. You can pick your team colors. You can even create a team picture and say, hey, it's time to do a picture of you guys. So yeah, a lot of things. You can design your ball cap, your jersey, the pants for your team. And this is where you go and you customize your ballpark. You can't see it because it's kind of grayed out, but on Sundays, it will let you change these numbers. So really take a look at your rotation. Are they lefties? Are they righties? What's your strong suit? Is it equal for both? Then it's more of a neutral park. And then same with your hitters. So I've been dumping a lot of my right-hand hitters and bringing in left-hand hitters. That's why I still have Larry Walker, because Larry Walker is a lefty. So I have Cool Papa Bell, King Kelly, Paul Hines, Jack Glasscock, who I benched this week, although he's really good. He's really good. I've almost got him trained up fully at second base. But because he's a righty and I'm in a lefty cheese park, I've removed him from the lineup. So I'm almost at a level now where I've got all lefties. But that doesn't mean your righties won't do well. Hank Aaron. Hank Aaron bats right. He's got 15 home runs. Probably a lot of them on the road. And you can check those stats too. You can go to batting stats and you can go up and look at the different leagues that they've played in. You can see, okay, what's his batting stats this year against the lefties? He's 219. Against the righties, he's 276. So a lot of different things that you can play around with. This game is so great. You can look at the streaks that your player has been on. You know, Hank Aaron was on an 8-game hitting streak earlier this season. Look at each individual game. I don't pour over all of this. I don't look at it all because it's just so much. It's overwhelming. But he's been on my team since 2027. So yeah, I keep him, even though he's a right-handed hitter. Maybe I'm too loyal to my players. You were born in Everett? Hey, Everett, Washington. Yes, I know the area well because I grew up just north of Washington in British Columbia. So essentially, set up like the Yankees. Short porch gives lefties an edge. Yeah, although I did make a mistake on my ballpark. It's hard to see because it's grayed out because you can't change it. But in terms of the ballpark dimensions, I should have changed my wall height a little bit because apparently that does play a little bit into results. So yeah, I'll have to make sure for next week because I'm not changing this. I've got 5 of the best left-handed pitchers. I'm not changing this. Cliff Lee is 11-2. Like he's having a great season. So as someone mentioned earlier, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. Yeah, Gristle. Have you ever been to the interior of BC? Kelowna, Kamloops, Penticton, kind of the area that I spent a lot of time on. Great, great place for tourists to go to. Thank you guys again for following. Thank you guys for watching. Still over 2 of you here. I hope you guys are, picking up a few pointers, especially if you're a new player. Like I said, I don't know anything and not even close. Not even close. I am not a master of this game. I pick things from other users and I go based on the feel of how players are doing. And yeah, I make mistakes for sure. And if I ever give out any wrong information like I did with the losing the stuff boost, yeah, please point it out because so many things to keep in mind. Sometimes you make mistakes on some of them. All right, guys, let's open some packs. I am looking for, ideally, what I would like to see is Randy Johnson in this lineup. I would love to replace Tom Glavine with one of the top 2 left-handed pitchers, Randy Johnson. He would be a dream. I would also like Frank Thomas. If I can bring in Frank Thomas as my DH. And the third guy that I love is Ricky Henderson. Let's see. All right, dogs, Wildcat, Bandit, Kamloops Blazers. Love that team. Wildcat, look at that. Wildcat is bringing the ammunition today. We got right on the first pack. And you guys have a chance to win 10 packs soon. Not yet. We have a diamond. And Rob, yes, Rob is following the streamer luck, opening packs when a streamer gets good cards. I've just started though, Rob, so don't blame me if you get crap. Because this is my first pack. I kind of wait until a streamer pulls a couple diamonds or a perfect. Let's go. What do we got? We've got JT. And usually I quick sell him, but he is part of 3 missions. I don't have the gold glove NL finished yet, so I better keep him. 1 pack, 1 diamond. I like those odds. Again, have your card shop handy in case you pull something good, or if I pull a duplicate that's good. Yeah, I'm going to set the dogs on that card, but not to bark at it, but maybe to pull a 39 Cobra at the dumpster, if you know what I mean. If you were following earlier talking about paying for washrooms, that's what the dogs can do. All right, a first gold, 3 packs, and we've got a diamond and a gold, and that is, oh, finally, I get a duplicate of Spotwood. Great card. If you are at the lower levels, this guy can play defense. Part of 2 missions, the Negro League 1 and the Swift mission. He has got some speed. He's a guy like Cool Papa Bell. You can crank up the base running and override team strategies. If you're using Spotwood, maybe do that, because this is a good low gold card. Only 30 minutes? All right, so we're going to sell Spotwood. If you need a Spotwood, yeah, it should be full screen now. Let me just double check. We're pretty close to it. All right, there. That's a little bit better. Someone wants them for $12.50. Lowest sell order is $29.50. I'm going to put them at $24.99. If you need Spotwood pull, he is going on the card shop. One diamond, 1 gold so far. Wildcat Bandit had the dogs going out. Let's put those dogs back up here from Rob, from Wildcat. Who let the dogs out? Get them roaring. Gold number 2. This time it is another historical, Stubby Overmeyer. What's the name of that gold card that's really expensive now for missions? It wasn't Stubby. Spud. Wasn't it Spud? Isn't there a Spud that's worth a lot right now? Is he a duplicate? I forgot to check. I don't want to sell him yet. Yes, he is a duplicate. So part of the Rebirth Gold Pictures mission, Stubby Overmeyer going on the card market for $13.99. Great card art. Love that card art. He says, this is my most often received diamond card by far. Well, you know what? It's not the worst one. You see what he's going for on the card shop. It's probably not a quick sell because he's part of that 3rd mission now. Of course, you want to get the Aaron Judge because, whoa! Wildcat, you really brought it today. Guys, be like Wildcat. Put in the dogs, put in the emotes. Wildcat Bandit. Man, I'm going to have to buy you a coffee if you're ever around Edmonton, Alberta. Look me up. What do we got for our gold? We have Juan Soto. Our second diamond, the first one was a live. The second one is another live. See, at least the JT is better than this card. This card is like bare minimum. So he gets quick sold. 4,000 points. All right, we've got 2 historical golds and 2 live diamonds so far. And we got half of John Farrell. Is the card half full or half empty? That is the question. Next up, we got 2 faceless players. Not quite a timeout category because we've been pulling some good cards. So we're not going to play gouge or not gouge quite yet. Now we go on a little bit of a downturn. I can't even remember what all the new iron and bronzes are. Well, now we're getting to some bad packs. When 60 is your highest card, it's almost timeout time. Don't forget, guys, Dish is on tonight. DishNet, the one, the only, the hype man, is on tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern to present to you the new Hall of Fame ballot card set. I gave you my predictions. We'll see how accurate it is. All right, do you need an Eric Bedard? I haven't pulled any future legends yet. Sorry, Heath or Whistle, whoever was looking for that one. But this card is going for quite a bit. 700 points. Lowest is 688. I'm going to give it to you for an even 500. Part of 2 missions. If you need Eric Bedard, he's on the shop. All right, let's go full screen here. Unless I pull a perfect, then I'll put my reaction on screen. Again, going a little bit longer today, guys. This is the 3rd stream for my stream this week, so I'm off again until Monday. We do have a giveaway coming up, so stay tuned for that. But there's no other affiliate right now until 4:30. So if you're looking for your drops and you can't watch streamers later on, I'm going to stay on for a little bit longer. But we will do the giveaway soon. Especially if I pull a Randy Johnson, we'll do it immediately. If it's the perfect Randy Johnson. Okay, double faceless player, a 40 and a 42, and only 1 bronze. You know what that means. Time out. And come on, OOTP, don't crash on me. There we go. Let's go to our lovely card shop, which isn't getting a lot of action. Not a lot of people seem to be ripping packs. We're going to go with any price over 400,000. All of you that have banked your points and you have over 400,000, thank you. If someone bought my Eric Bedard, it just sold. Ty Cobb, arguably the best player in the game for hitters right now. Someone wants him badly for 500,001. One is up for sale for 950. Gouge or not gouge? What do you guys think? Is 950 for Ty Cobb? Is that a fair price in the game right now? As Wildcat Bandit says, yes. Gouge or not gouge? Fair. All right. It looks like we are saying 950,000 with the not gouge is the answer. If I had $1 million, I might consider buying them. Look at that. Look at that center field, right field, error, range, arm, sacrifice, speed. Yeah, it's Ty Cobb. Now, I know this one's probably really tough. So I really want you guys to use your evaluation, critical thinking skills for bunt Aaron Judge. 109,660,000 on the card shop. I've never seen so much red ever. Yeah, let's move on. Let's move on. Here's an interesting one. Curious on your input on this one. Ohtani. Been in the game a while now. Was really expensive to get to collect all the missions. Someone's selling him for 607. Based on the new pitchers that have been brought in the game, is he worth 607,000? Good point, Rob. Yep, Aaron Judge is worth that to the Yankees. Good point. So we've got two non-gouge, and then we've got Cubs fan Steve, who thinks it's a little bit of a gouge. But for a tournament, yeah. All right, looks like most of the votes have him as not gouge. So I think it's a fair price. I think it's fair. It was a tough card to get. You got to consider that it was really tough to get. How about Satchel Paige? Satchel Paige on the market for 555,000. Last 10 sales is 461. Someone's willing to pay 425. Lil Chef says gouge. Wildcat says gouge. Monterre Don says not gouge. You know it's a decent price when it's 50-50 split. So it's right on that edge of gouge, not gouge. I'm going to go with the people that say it's fair, only because it's the only one up there. It's a relatively new card. It's a pretty good card. I think they should meet in the middle here somewhere. I think both sides should pay 500,000 for it. But yeah, that's our toughest one so far. I'm going to skip this one because it's been up there for at least a month. That's a gouge. And I'm also going to skip this one, probably from the same owner. That's a gouge. How about the first Platinum Series topper, Jerry Royce, who you have to get the overall topper? Coach, I don't know, Tim, if you're referring to when I mentioned couch earlier in the broadcast, but couch, sofa, recliner. Yeah, I agree with you guys. This Jerry Royce at this point in the game is not worth 600,000. I think the level 10 is fair. 150 to 160, I think, is probably what, maybe a little higher because it's part of the topper series, but no more than 200,000 for sure. It was a meta card for a long time in the game. It was the must-have pitcher if you were in Perfect League. Two more to go. Julio Rodriguez, 490,000. It is a top bunt card. Only one on the market. Exactly, EVC. Yeah, EVC. It is needed to get that topper. I think with Rodriguez, I even have a Rodriguez, and I wouldn't sell it for that much. So the gouges have it. Yes. That is a gouge price. All right, guys, what do you think about this one? One on the market, 618,000. Someone's willing to pay 500,000. Oh, Gabba made it in here. Gabba made it in because he had to take those digs at Ludlud. There we go. Are they all listings by Ludlud? If you don't know the history between some of the OOTP users, there is some. We'll just leave it at that. Fair, fair. Okay, yeah, I agree. I'm surprised. I think even up to maybe even 700,000 is fair for Frank Thomas. Now the only thing is he's pretty much a DH player at the higher levels. You're probably not going to play him at first base. But man, he has the numbers when we look at Frank Thomas. So is that worth 700,000? Or do you save up another 300,000 and get a Ty Cobb? What's the better value? Frank Thomas at 700 or Ty Cobb at 9.5? Yeah, in perfect drafts, absolutely EVC. In perfect drafts, I'd play him at first base too. Yeah. Yeah, I'd rather have Cobb too. I'd rather save up a little bit more for Cobb than buying Frank Thomas. Frank Thomas is great if you pull him in a pack, but to buy him for that much, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I could part with 670,000 or whatever it is. All right, we're going to open a few more packs and then we're going to do our giveaway, guys. Our pack luck has been okay today. We pulled 2 diamonds and 2 historical golds on about 10 packs. Don't forget, Dishnet tonight, his Hall of Fame ballot set. Probably 8 to 12 cards. I'm guessing gold, diamond, and perfect. And my top three for perfect cards tonight, I am guessing that we are going to get a Roland, a Wagner, and either a Pettit or a A-Rod, depending if they keep A-Rod for mission or for milestone missions. So Roland, Wagner, and A-Rod are my 3 picks for perfect cards tonight. Pettit with an outside chance. All right, Steve, here we go. Here we go. We got the dogs going. I will list my duplicates for really fair prices if I pull any. Gorgo pulled a Cliff Lee yesterday on stream. The last time I watched EVC, he pulled a live perfect. And we got a gold. Our gold card is someone that we can quick sell. Don't you miss the reevaluation of live cards? That was such a fun part of the game where you would speculate and you would buy and hold all these live cards, hoping they would go up. Your Spencer Strider. I wonder was there any iron card at the beginning of the year that went up to perfect? Did any iron card make the move up to perfect by the end of the year? Getting a few Taylor Rogers. Yeah, Gorgo is the man. Gorgo is the pack pulling man. When he starts pulling good cards, I start pulling. And I don't know if you guys saw the stream, but when Gorgo pulled a perfect a couple weeks ago, I said, I'm opening packs. I'm opening packs. And you know who I got watching Gorgo open packs? Did you guys see who I pulled watching Gorgo open packs? And now it's kind of making the rounds that you got to open packs when other streamers are getting good cards. Let's leave. We need a perfect. We need a perfect here. That's not a perfect. Oh, that's what I was going to show you. I was going to show you when Gorgo was on stream. That's who I opened up. So, word of advice, when you see streamers open cards and they get good cards, maybe crack a few packs. It happened with EVC as well just before Christmas. He got those 5 historicals and I ripped a few packs and I got an Ed Delahanty at the same time. It seems to work. And avoid opening packs on Monday. That's my advice. I never get anything good on Monday. Thursday seems to be the sweet spot, especially Thursday night or other streamers getting good cards. All right, you need a Mel Harder. Mel Harder is on the shop for below last 10, $2.99. Part of CC5 Control. So a heck of a deal. There you go. There's a laptop special. All right, a few more packs. I think Nersha Benko is scheduled to come on in about a half an hour. So we may or may not raid into him. And the giveaway of 10 packs to 2 different people coming up soon. Stay tuned for that. Not a duplicate. Can't sell him. Hey, thanks, Rob. Thanks for the purchase on Mel Harder. Gold card. Don't own him yet. I think I sold all my I thought he was going to go up to perfect. He was one of my spec cards a few months ago of going to perfect, and he made his move up to diamond, and then he tanked again at the end. Oh, okay. Thanks, Nersha. Thanks for the heads up there. Okay, good. Then I don't have to stay on much longer. I was going to stay on and raid into you, but I can't go that long. So I will finish up here in just a little bit. Have a good stream there, Nersha, with your online league play. Go check out Nersha Benko if you haven't done that yet on Twitch. We need to call our last time out here. Last time out just to get out of the game a little bit. And we're going to go to the main screen and we're going to finish off. But before we do our contest, we're going to finish off with my Perfecto draft that I have coming up in just under 3 hours. Almost forgot to draft this, and I would have been lovely dinner for someone to take advantage of my team full of gym unknowns. So that's not going to happen now because we are going to do this perfect draft. 1992. Are any of you guys in the Perfecto coming up in a couple of hours? Let me know. Let me know who my competition is. So 1993, I want power guys. I probably want at least 11 guys on the team. Kind of that steroid, not quite 2001, but definitely some power guys. Tim, can we chat? Because I agree with you. Has there ever been a worst first round? Now, I can make do of this because I think Nomar and Willie, I got to draft Nomar because someone told me they've won 2 drafts with Nomar. So, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Willie and Nomar. Your team is stacked, Rob. Don't say that, because when people say that, they lose out in 4 games. But good luck to you. Good luck to you tomorrow. I trust Teddy O. I trust what Teddy O has to say. So is Teddy O saying Willie and Vida, 2 of the build a lineup cards? I also trust Erie, though. You guys are making this tough. Lou Brock can run. You forgot about Nomar until you entered. I'll keep that in mind, Teddy. I'll keep that if Lud suggests someone, I'll keep that in mind. But I'm open to any suggestion. So what's the final call here? Who do I go with Vida? You guys seem to like Vida. Lou Brock, Willie McCovey, or Nomar? The thing is, I'm going to get a lot of good first basemen coming up. I do not trust Rob. Sorry, Rob. If that's the team you drafted that you said is stacked, have fun. Okay, I'm going Nomar just because of the good fortune factor that I've heard about him. Oh, now this one is a little saltier. This one's a little more interesting. I've got my 2 guys picked out. I wonder if it's the same 2 that you guys think. I've got my 2 choices, but I'm curious who should be my round 2 picks. There you go. Yes, I had a close-up moment when it was pointed out that was a bad first round. Well, right off the bat, when I saw these cards, my 2 picks were Ohtani and Collins. Just because second basemen in perfect drafts are a little bit riskier, like you don't get as many good choices. So I think Ohtani and Collins. Oh, Lil Chef. Little Chef, see, I kind of like you now. I don't care what Gabba has to say. You're on Santa's nice list now. Thank you. Thank you, Little Chef. Oh, do we take Fernando? Fernando Valenzuela and Cochran? I agree. Backup catcher time. Hope that I get Yogi Berra or Josh Gibson. I like those 2. So the 2 I would probably pick, it's probably going to cause some discussion. That I think might be a good choice. Or that. But my first instinct was to take Pud and Luke. Yeah, we all agree on Appling. Appling for sure. Do I risk my outfield? You know what? I'm gonna go with instinct. I'm gonna go with Pud and Appling. Although Brett or Mantle definitely would have been good consolation. Oh, and the server messed up, so it brought me back here. I changed my mind. I don't have a third baseman yet. And I can't guarantee that Mike Schmidt's going to come. So thank you, Erie. You talked me into it at the very end, Appling and Brett. This is another bad round. You brought me back because I was wrong. Yeah. I admit that. Yeah. I was wrong taking Pud. Yeah. Brett or Mantle, I think, was the choice there. This one, I think Greinke for sure. He's the best of the worst. Connor, I don't have a first baseman yet. He can also play third. Yeah. I think you have to go Connor and Greinke. Again, the best of the worst. One no-brainer. I think I do that, or am I wrong and I should take Turkey? I think I take the two pitchers. Let's see what you guys are thinking here. Yeah, Turkey's pretty good, but I think I'm hoping for a better one. You guys agree on that? Other than maybe Clemente, but I think we go Hornsby Pedro. That might have been the easiest round. Here's another bad round, guys. Oh. I've only got one catcher. It's round 8. I think I'll get another choice later, so I don't think I need to take McCann. I've got no outfield, and I've already got 7 pitchers. Judge and Clace are out. I do like Platt 4. He's got 102 movement. Look at this guy, this Cubs guy. Of course, Cubs fan Steve is going to take Rick. He's a little splitty. Yeah, he is splitty, but good in the bullpen, I think. Big Daddy Rick. I think I got to take an outfield. I got none yet. I got to take Minnie, and he can play many positions. Minnie and Rick, let's check what you guys said. Rick, Royschel. Minnie's a good backup. Yeah, okay. I think I made the right choice. I've got one first baseman. I've got Roger Connor, who plays better against the righties. Jimmy Fox plays better against the lefties. So definitely I could platoon Fox and Connor. Ott's a no-brainer. I don't like any of these pitchers, and I don't want to take Ramirez really, so 2 of the best early cards in the game. Mel Ott, the first captain of the Rocky Mountain Gladiators, and Jimmy Fox, one of the best milestone cards early on, or mission cards. All right, round 10. We've got 1 catcher, 2 first basemen, 2 second basemen, 1 third baseman, 2 shortstop, 1 right fielder, 1 left fielder, and 8 pitchers. And I've got 2 second basemen already. Nap LaJoie would be an easy choice if I didn't have Collins and Hornsby. Ward for maybe utility. Not Bishop. Not Arenado. I do need I better take a center field. This is not because he's the best card, but it's out of need. I've only got 2 fielders, and they're both corner outfielders. So I think I have to go with Ashburn and Ward. What do you guys think? Ashburn and Ward? Monty for sure. Ashburn and Ward. Hornsby to third. Yeah, I've got Brett at third, but I'm not sure if they platoon well. Hornsby against the lefties, and I think Brett's against the righties, if I remember. Yeah, that works out perfect. Brett and Hornsby. Let's do that. Hornsby to third. That's a great third base platoon. Oh, I love my turkey. I love turkey. But I think at that point, I already had quite a few starters. Or at that point, I think I needed the starters. Hey, someone bought Spotswood. Thank you if one of you bought Spotswood. Satchel, yes. I'm thinking Maze. All right, I kept it. I think this was the same screen when the ad break came on there. So Page for sure. It's either a matter of take Strasburg just to get another arm in the pin or take Willie because I'm short on outfielders. I hear you, Heath. There are certain players that I strongly support as well. One of them was Paul Hines earlier in the game, center fielder that a lot of people didn't use, and he was a really good center fielder, especially against the lefties. But he was a guy that people loved or hated, Paul Hines in center field. I still really like him. You can get him for like 21,000. I'm short on outfielders, guys. I can't risk it. I got to take Willie. Even though it's not a good card, I got to take him. Plenty of pitchers to come. Oh. Ideally, I'd like two more pitchers because this is 1993 or 1992. So I don't need 12. 11 should be good. Royce and Carew. Jennings would be great at shortstop, but I've got Ward and I've got Garcia Parra, although they could be bench platoon guys. Carew can play first or second, but I've got a lot of guys at second already. So I don't think I'm going to take Carew. I think I got to go with the two strong pitchers here. And that'll give me 11 pitchers. Hopefully the last round isn't all pitchers. Yeah, Jennings would have been for sure, Erie. I would have taken Jennings for sure if I didn't have two already. So I left hitters to the last round, and this is what I have to pick from. Oh my God. Holy smokes. How did you guys let me slip out with only one catcher so far? Whew. Did I get fortunate there? That's right. I didn't take Brian McCann. So I got Cochran and Fisk. Cochran was supposed to be the backup, but I think he's going to be the starter. And then do I go Jenks? I guess I got to go McCarthy. I need another outfielder. Yeah. Cochran, you just got promoted. You are now our starter, which I don't overly mind, but it's disappointing I didn't get Josh Gibson or Yogi Berra as choices, or even Platinum Rodriguez. Yeah, I'm short on outfielders. Fisk, McCarthy, a bad choice in first round and a bad choice in the last round. So I will fix all this off screen and put in the guys that I think are in the best. I think Maddox goes 1. Martinez or Page or Fernando. Who's number 2? Probably Martinez. Hartnett, yeah, Hartnett was a tournament catcher, wasn't he? I haven't used him much in tournaments, but I remember liking his number, Tim, for sure. Or even Bench, yeah. Bench would have been a decent choice. Dark Horse, I don't know how many catchers are total. I've never counted them. Maybe 8? Maybe 8 throughout the rotation or less. I'm guessing anywhere between 6 and 8. Oh, Hartnett's plat 4. Right. Yeah. That is a good card. Well, let's do all this off screen. Let's take a quick look at the hitting lineup. I definitely will move some things around there. I don't want Ohtani hitting cleanup, I don't think. But I will save that. Because, yeah, this tournament starts in just a couple of hours. We'll do that next time, or when you're drafting next time. Teddy or Dark Horse says 6. 6, okay. So, yeah, looks like you have 6. So if you ever get 3 in one round, you better take at least 1. All right, well, it is that time. Let me get the giveaway set up here. Don't enter it yet, but I'm going to get all the programming set up as I wait for my team to load up. Exclamation enter, exclamation ticket is the magic command for you to get entered in. 10 packs to 2 different users that hopefully will get you something good. And as we're waiting for that, we will open some packs. Here we go. As we get you guys entered in, let's see if we can pull a perfect while the contest is going on. Jocko Milligan, speaking of catchers, Jocko Milligan's a really good bronze historical card. I will put him up for his rating, 68. Exclamation enter, exclamation ticket. I'm going to give you a little extended time to get entered because I was really running late with the contest today. So I want to give people a chance to get back to their phone, their computer, and get entered. So if they ran to the washroom or ran to get a bite to eat, or, they're working and their boss is around and they can't enter yet because their boss is right beside them, well, we'll give you a few minutes. Exclamation enter, exclamation ticket. Don't forget to join DishNet tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern for the Hall of Fame ballot set, where I expect we will see a Scott Rowland, we will see a Billy Wagner, and probably an A-Rod, all as perfect cards. Exclamation enter, guys. Exclamation ticket. If you haven't done that already, get in on the draw. We're at 46 right now. Our record is 48. We're getting close to our record of entries. Couple away. Another Jocko Milligan and a gold card. And a gold quick sell, Pete Alonso. I need Gorgo on line 2. Gorgo on line 2. You should be in the chat. I really need you here, buddy. Really need you to pull that diamond. That historical. We got the dogs going now. We got the Who Let the Dogs Out. We're going to give it a minute and a half left on the timer. Exclamation ticket, exclamation enter for your chance at 10 free standard packs. Yeah, this is not looking very good. So our last and third time out as we open 12 more packs. 12 more. Lil Chef, this one's for you. This one's for you, and this one's for you, Rob Fan, and this one's for you, Hulkamat, and this one's for you, Cobra, and Wildcat Bandit, all you guys that are participating in the chat and making these streams worthwhile. And as the contest is going on, exclamation ticket, exclamation enter. Lil Chef, how about a Josh Gibson? I didn't get him in the draft. How about a Randy Johnson? How about a somehow I knew it was going to be a card related to that perfect draft. And this was the catcher I didn't take. Yeah, D. Dempsey, justice. The card I didn't take. I didn't add to the team. And fortunately, I got Carlton Fisk in the last round. Absolutely. It is a historical. Let's just see what it's going for. I could sell it for 40,000. It's not part of any missions, but it might be. It might be. I better hang on to that in case a milestone mission comes up. Well, we're not exiting on a perfect card, although I'm glad I went with 12 more packs. 9 packs to go. Exclamation enter, exclamation ticket. The contest is still underway. Get your entries in. You've got about another 40 seconds to go before we call it a day. First time I've ever pulled Brian McCann. That is not a card I would have guessed in Call Your Shot. Four more packs. Oh, you guys are bringing the humor today. Must be close to the weekend. 2 more packs. All right, Woody Held. How about a 99 Jack Glasscock to end off the stream here? What do we got? Dud. Duds. I take it you guys aren't big fans of Brian McCann. I don't see a lot of positivity there for Brian. 30-second countdown on the giveaway. Exclamation ticket, exclamation enter for your last chance. We have broke a record with 53 entries. Excellent. You guys are the best. 25 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we are done. We have 54 entries. Good luck, everyone. Again, if you win, let me know your perfect team username. Put it in the chat or whisper me. There you go. And also, again, don't forget, I see EVC is back. check out EVC tomorrow, as he's going to do another theme team episode where he will recap tonight's card. He will talk about the perfect Scott Rowland, the perfect A-Rod, and the perfect Billy Wagner, as I'm sure are coming. All right, so check out his stream tomorrow, 3:30 Eastern. Dishnet tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern. Winner number 1 of 10 packs is IBDB2U, the long-lost relative of C3PO. We have IBDB2U. Congratulations. Not familiar with that name, so let me know in the chat or whisper. You can right-click on my name on my messages and let me know which username you have. There you go. Okay, so I'll wait on IBDB2U to, let me see, let me read that out quickly. IBDB2U. IB in debt to you? Is that what that stands for? It's like a license plate. You try and figure out different funny phrases with it. The other 10 packs will go to Just Memeza. Hey, you are a recent follower from the other day. Just Memeza. Well, hopefully you enjoy opening those packs with a little bit of za tonight. So congratulations, Just Memeza, and 2B2BC3PO, R2D2. Let me know your usernames for Perfect Team, and they will get to you within 24 to 48 hours, closer to 24 than 48. So as Steve says, congrats. Thank you guys for tuning in for the extended Thursday episode. Lots that we talked about, and be kind to yourself and to someone else this week. Have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the football. Go out and see a movie. Go hug your dog. Give, your friend a call and see how they're doing. Lights off in the Hound Studio Monday, 1 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you then. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend. Make sure I get your username for the 2 winners.